car week in Monterey, it is definitely all about the European exotica. It is Ferrari, it is Lamborghini, it is Maserati, the English cars. It's become a spectacular event.
As collections have become a very big part of Mecum auctions in general, every once in a while a collection gets entered that really nails the intent and the personality of the inventory.
One of the most incredible collections is coming to Monterey. It is the Veloce and Schnell collection, which, as the name implies in German and Italian, is a wonderful collection of Porsche and Ferrari cars. Many of these cars haven't been offered for auction before, and they are truly very, very special.
During the early 1950s, Enzo Ferrari was just starting to kind of see exactly what direction his company was going to go. We know it was being driven by racing and high performance, so it might be unlikely that a coupe version of his powerful V12 racing engine would be built.
The 1951 212 Inter, for me, is one of the most significant cars to ever leave the stables of Maranello, and some would argue not the most aerodynamic car. And the axles and the wheels and the tires are pushed very far inside the fenders, but that was the design at the time. But it was the start of the legend of Ferrari.
Ferrari, like a lot of manufacturers in the 1960s, were starting to push the performance envelope from where they had established themselves. And by 1963, the 400 was as competitive with anything else in the world from a performance standpoint.
Bodywork is by Pininfarina, and it has the Colombo V12 engine in it, and Maranello have afforded 3 carburetors onto that engine as well to improve the induction system. It has a wonderful exhaust sound because of that. We're beginning to see now how Ferrari's engineers are putting a lot of that racing technology from the track onto the road cars. The 1966 275 GTB is an incredible car produced by Maranello. This particular example, however, is even more special. It is an alloy-bodied car. That makes it very rare. And it also has the long nose put onto the car. Very rare, very exclusive. I would say this is an absolute gem amongst the collection. The 1963 250 GT Lusso. It's a beautiful car from Maranello, and as the name suggests, Lusso, it's a luxury car. When you look at this particular example, you're looking at a real piece of wonderful history from Maranello, not only through its Colombo V12 engine, the 250 GTO engine, fundamentally the same, but it's also a very significant car from the history of Ferrari. It's telling a story of where Ferrari are going with their cars. We started with race cars. Now we're putting extra carpet in there, more leather, making everything look a bit more luxurious, and that would slowly start to transition up until the contemporary days in Maranello.
In 1965, the pinnacle, the most expensive, the top of the line, was the 500 Superfast, a huge 5-liter V12 engine putting on a massive, for the time period, 400 horsepower. Only 12 of these cars were built in the Series 2 configuration, and they remain today sought after as perhaps the most desirable of all the Ferraris from the 1960s in the road-going series. 1968, final year for another storied Ferrari road-going car. The 330 GTS, the convertible version, and the 330 GTC, the coupe version, reached the end of the line. Very highly developed by that point, and a lot of exotic components. It was a 4-liter V12 putting out 300 horsepower, a 5-speed transaxle, independent rear suspension, 4-wheel disc brakes, all wrapped up into a package that not only had the look, but the performance as well. And what makes the GTS so special is it's one of only a handful that was built with factory air conditioning, almost unheard of.
The 1974 246 Dino. It's a beautiful car, very lightweight, a transverse V6 engine in the back of it. The first time Ferrari on a road car put a V6 engine in the back. Very nimble, beautiful handling car. And the value has just gone up and up and up. Some Dinos are more valuable than others. This one has the flared arches and it has the bucket seats in it. One of my most favorite cars. I worked on them as a Ferrari mechanic many years ago, and I was always amazed at how the value just simply didn't move for so many years, and then boom, the market's finally caught on to what they are.
Of all the Ferrari coupes, and there were many built, there's one that really stands out as being a true landmark. The late 1960s, we first saw the 365, now known as the Daytona, and this particular 1974 late example represents everything about what Ferrari was doing. A 352 horsepower V12, that transaxle 5-speed transmission, and the styling and the look of the car that still looks fresh and contemporary today. One of the must-have cars for any Ferrari collectors, a 365 Daytona.
Porsche have a great history in motor racing. Some would say different to Ferrari's involvement in motor racing, where Ferrari's had such a long and highly successful history in Formula One. Porsche, on the other hand, although they have had Formula One involvement, their history has always been around endurance racing. Their cars last.
Beginning in the late 1940s, Porsche really started establishing a reputation of building special cars, and they did it with a formula that was very unique at the time. Lightweight, high-quality cars that handled well, that had a rear-mounted air-cooled engine. The 356 series saw good success in road racing, and that translated to, by the mid-50s, that translated into building some excellent road-going cars as well. The 1956 Speedster Carrera is the most sought after of all of the road-going Porsches from that time period. What makes it so special really is the heartbeat. Small displacement engine, 1.5 liter, but 2 big Weber twin-throat carbs. It's a 4-speed manual transmission and was rated over 100 horsepower. The rarity and the uniqueness of the Speedster body with that Carrera nameplate puts this car into 7-figure sale price territory. The evolution of the 356 lineup by 1960 had evolved into the B model. Some improvements and some refinements, but still that distinctive body style that the 356 was known for its whole life. Now, the Cabriolet was considered top of the line. That was a very snug convertible top version, and as we all know, collectors like any type of a vehicle where both a coupe and a convertible is offered, and the convertibles will bring more money. 1970, big year for Porsche. They decided they were going to enter a lower price market with a car called the 914. 2 versions were available, the 1.7 liter, the 914/4, and the very collectible and desirable today, the big 6-cylinder version, the 914/6. It was a mid-engine mounted 2 liter, 6-cylinder, carbureted engine with a 5-speed manual transmission. Fast forward to today, and the market, the Porsche enthusiasts have recognized just how cool and important these high-performance 914s are, and they are really coming strong on the marketplace.
When I think about the Veloce and Schnell collection, which will be at Monterey this year, I'm looking forward to see how the collectors approach these cars that haven't been seen for so long, or have never crossed an auction block before.
This collection represents precisely what Monterey is all about, a great opportunity for folks to get what's considered to be the best of 2 of the most storied and sought after and valuable cars on the planet.